This is the Ethanol Report, the industry podcast from the Renewable Fuels Association since 2008. I'm Cindy Zimmerman. Well, as summer unofficially gets underway, a record number of us are planning on hitting the road around the nation, no matter how high the gas prices might be. The good news is that E15 will once again be available this summer in more places than ever before, and ethanol in general is keeping prices lower than they could be. I'm talking with Renewable Fuels Association Chief Economist Scott Richman. And Scott, as people take to the highways Memorial Day weekend, what can they expect to see at the gas pump?
Yeah, so people are going to notice a couple of things. First thing, it has a lot of traffic. AAA is forecasting a record number of people are going to hit the road. Highest number they've ever shown since they started doing a survey in 2000. So we're blowing by the pre-pandemic numbers and setting a new record. The other thing is high gasoline prices, and prices are at their second highest level for at least a decade, with the exception would be 2022, which was in the aftermath of Russia invading Ukraine. So combination of traffic and high gasoline prices is not great, no matter how much we're ready to get out and enjoy the weekend. The one thing that we wanted to let people know, though, is that ethanol is helping them save money on their fuel bills this weekend. Ethanol for much of this year has been running substantially below gasoline blend stock at the wholesale level. At times over the last month, it's been $1.20 less expensive than gasoline. And as a result, just the direct savings from having ethanol blended into gasoline, we estimate that people who are hitting the road this weekend will save about $110 million as a result of the presence of ethanol in their gasoline at a lower cost than the petroleum gasoline cost.
And that's just all gasoline average at about 10% ethanol is our national blend of ethanol, right?
Right. We're at a little bit over 10%. It's about 10.4%. We're starting to get traction in the last 5 years or so on 15% ethanol blends known as E15. And then there's fairly significant consumption still of E85 that's been accelerating in California, largely due to the low carbon fuel standard out there. But E10, 10% ethanol is still ubiquitous. If people go to the gasoline station and get gasoline, chances are they're getting E10.
But E15 we can use once again this summer, and that does often result in a lower cost at the pump, right?
If all the gasoline that were consumed in the U.S. were E15, the savings would be proportionally greater. Over the last month, if you look at the cost of blended gasoline at the terminal, the rack, which is just the level just below the gasoline station, E10 has been at about a 33-cent per gallon discount to ethanol-free gasoline. E15 has been at about a 40-cent per gallon discount at the terminal. So if those things pass through to the retail level, consumers will be seeing some significant savings. And the unfortunate part for our industry is that consumers have a kind of vague knowledge that they have ethanol in their gasoline. They see the stickers on the pumps, but they don't buy that ethanol separately. It's there's one price. Ethanol is blended in to the gasoline. So they don't see the discount that ethanol is priced at. They don't see the savings associated with ethanol the way they would if it were purchased separately. So it's a little bit of a hidden savings, and ethanol is holding down the cost of gasoline when people go to the pump, even though they can't quite see it. And there's also indirect savings. Again, a little bit more than 10% of the U.S. gasoline supply is made up by ethanol, and especially when times are tight for gasoline. The addition to supply, it's not just that ethanol is at a lower price than gasoline. It's actually by increasing the supply of fuel out there, it's lowering the cost of all fuel, including that petroleum-based gasoline. So it's bringing costs down indirectly as well. So there's a couple of different ways that ethanol is really benefiting consumers right now. So again, a dollar per gallon discount or even more over the last month at wholesale, and that's coming through at the retail level, even though it might be a little bit hard for consumers to see that.
Well, and as we celebrate on Memorial Day our nation's freedom and those who paid the ultimate price for that, ethanol also has some non-tangible patriotic benefits tied in with like energy security.
Yeah, so virtually every gallon of ethanol that's consumed in the United States is produced here. There's a very, very small amount of ethanol that is imported. We're actually a fairly sizable net exporter of ethanol. We export about 10% of the ethanol that we produce. So ethanol helps with energy security. It's not petroleum based, so it helps diversify our fuel sources, and it also is less carbon intensive, so reduces greenhouse gas emissions. But the ethanol industry is actually a fairly large employer of veterans. And so in multiple ways, ethanol enhances our energy security.
Well, and you mentioned that you may not notice that ethanol is in your gasoline, but there are some places that you will notice if there is a savings in a higher blend, like for instance in Iowa, if you go look for an E15 or unleaded 88, as they call it there sometimes, it has a discount compared to regular. And you mentioned California and E85, a significant discount on that you can see. So if you're traveling this summer, it'd be a good thing to watch out for is that there are ethanol discounts in many parts of the country, right?
Absolutely. For E15, you often see 15, 20, 25 cent discounts relative to E10. So it's often marketed as 88 octane or gasoline unleaded 88 in different places. And it'll be marked E15, but you kind of have to look for it. But you'll notice that discount versus regular unleaded gasoline. And then for E85, those savings certainly show through, and especially in California with the very high gasoline prices they have out there. E85, because they have a low carbon fuel standard in California, and ethanol cuts greenhouse gas emissions, that helps to incentivize the price of E85 out there. So as we've had pretty substantial discounts out in California, we have seen over the last 3 to 5 years E85 consumption in the state really take a step change upward.
Well, and as we're kicking off the summer travel season, RFA is once again kicking off its Ethanol Days of Summer contest, offering the chance to win $300 in fuel every week. I am speaking with Robert White, Senior Vice President of Industry Relations and Market Development for the Renewable Fuels Association. And Robert, tell us about this and how many years you've been doing this.
Yeah, I think we're actually on number 5 as of now, and we've continued to bump up the prize amount. But what we do is all through summer, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, is weekly we randomly draw a winner of $300 in free fuel. And we just hope the contest really allows folks to find E15, find E85, maybe for the first time, try it out, give it a test run, if you will, but at the same time have some fun and a chance to win some free fuel. So we actually extended the way to do it a couple of years back, so you can go on social media on X and post pictures of the pump or the price on the marquee while you're fueling up, or you can go to e85prices.com, the website, or the mobile app, and simply enter in prices as you see them in your summer travels.
Well, one thing that's changed over the 5 years that you've been doing this is you've got a lot more stations selling E85 and E15, right?
That is correct. We continue to see at least one, if not three, new stations a day somewhere in the country. And even for E85, a fuel that's been around for several decades, there's a lot of communities that have never had E85 locally. And so people may have had a flex fuel vehicle in their most recent purchase or had one for a number of years, just never had the opportunity to fuel. And they get that for the first time. And so obviously driving people to our website, driving the consumers to e85prices.com, we can help them connect the dots. And obviously E85 is for flex fuel vehicles only, but E15 is approved for 2001 and newer vehicles. And of course, all flex fuel vehicles as well. And that's about 97% of the light duty fleet driving around the countryside. So almost everyone in the country can take advantage of E15 or E85, save some money at the pump, and participate in this contest with a chance to win $300 each week.
Well, definitely I can see why people would want to enter this contest. When you get $300, the chance to win $300 in free fuel is a pretty major one. But why does RFA do this contest? What's in it for you?
Well, a couple things. We think the data is important. So when we have folks reporting fuel prices, that's valuable not only for the immediate need, but long term. We've been tracking prices and submissions for now 20 years. And so that data becomes then very valuable as you're having policy discussions or even just talk of the RVOs annually with EPA. So it's all valuable information. But the secondary part is as important as the first, and that is helping consumers connect the dots that they can use E15 in what vehicle, and they can see that the price is right. In fact, in many cases, they're saving upwards of 15 cents or more just on E15. But on E85, a good example today, I filled up in Nebraska at $1 discount per gallon. So I think once consumers, one, are comfortable and know that they can use it safely and effectively in their vehicles, but two, know that they can save some money, do it, and then, of course, have a chance at that $300 weekly. We start to align the stars pretty well. In the last several years, we've had several thousand new registered users at e85prices.com each year. So we're excited to ramp that up again and again, point people in the right direction so that they can, maybe have a little more fun or maybe take an extra summer vacation because they saved some money or won the contest.
Well, I mean, what kind of reaction have you gotten from people? You say these people that you have given $300 to over the time have also become ethanol advocates, I would think, in a lot of ways.
That's exactly right. We've seen advocacy efforts, especially like on X or formerly known as Twitter. We've seen people from the East Coast, from the West Coast that have no connection to rural America, agriculture, or ethanol, but ethanol is helping them at the pump, especially in a state like California, where you're seeing a E85 discount upwards of 50% the price of regular gasoline. It helps everyone, and we're seeing those gallons tick up every year. More than 110 million gallons of E85 was sold last year in California alone. So we're continuing to see more of the higher blends being used, especially during high gas prices. And again, this contest is simply to note that, make sure they have the information they need to make a smart decision that can save them at the pump, and hopefully they'll participate in the contest and maybe even win some free fuel.
And does the website help point them in the right direction? Like if they're in a new state that they've never been in, to help them know where they can get E15 or 85?
Yeah, it's the national database on the website, and the mobile app will actually find you, obviously, through your phone's GPS and connect the dots there. And you can look by state, by city, and it'll even provide directions to get you to those stations.
Anything else you want to add about this contest and how it's helped increase awareness of higher blends, especially of ethanol?
Well, I think, as I said, we've had upwards of 5,000 new registered users at the website per year. And so we know the message is getting out. And this is something for the people that always use the E15 or always use the 85. It's just a contest to reward them for that and their potential years of dedication. But at the same time, it's as much, if not more, about opening new eyes and developing more demand for ethanol at whatever blend percentage it is. But for more information on us and more information on the contest, anyone can go to ethanolrfa.org.
And that's it for this edition of the Ethanol Report. Thanks for listening.